Okay, start with your binding. Start about halfway down, and this is it is bias binding, but I didn't cut it on the bias this time because it is going straight around the quilt. And if it was turning corners like on an apron or something like that, you would want to cut it on the bias of your fabric. And I did not do that with this because it's a straight. It's just straight all the way around. So start somewhere in the middle and leave about a 7 or so inch tail, 8-inch tail. And so all the way down, you're lining up the raw edge of the binding to the raw edge of the quilt. Come all the way down. I'm going to show you how to do a corner really quick. So you're going to come down. I have a 1/4 of an inch presser foot, so I can see when my presser foot comes to the end here by these little indentations that I'm 1/4 of an inch away from the bottom of the quilt here, and that's where I'm going to stop. And so it's right about there. I'm going to put up the presser foot. You're going to turn the quilt. Now you're going to back off of the quilt here, just like that. Now you can miter it. Fold it up, fold it down. So now your raw edge, a 45-degree angle, is lined up with the quilt edge again. And you just continue right on. I want to show you this really quick once I get down just a little bit further. And try and keep your binding lined up there. Mine went off a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, I want to show you this. And if you ever pull your needle up, I'm going to back stitch a little bit. And I want to show you what this looks like. So when you open it up, see you have a nice little mitered corner. Isn't that pretty? And then you just pull it around to the back and you're going to slip stitch it down. Very simple. Okay, this is where I've stopped, and I had a little bit of a longer tail, but what you want to do is you want to take the one tail that we had, and you're going to make sure you have enough here before you do this, because we want to join these and we want them to look neat. So you bring them together here at the bottom, and basically what we want it to do is lie flat when we sew it together. So I'm going to take a little pin and I'm going to put a pin here. I'm going to measure up right from the bottom. Basically how you can do this is you can lay it flat here, and put a little chalk mark on it. Then from this line you're going to do another mark that's 1/4 of an inch. So basically, I'm going to get that right. So about a fourth of an inch here. Now you want to make sure that you have it right because we're going to cut it. And once you cut it, if you mess it up, that's something that you can't easily fix. So we're going to go ahead and hold our breath and give it a little cut, nice and straight. Okay, now we want to put right sides together. So you're going to take it and turn, and if it might take a little bit of squeezing in. You know my house is very real when we have doors slamming and okay, wait a second here. You can pin this. I find that if I pin it, I have a hard time getting it straight. But let's put a pin in it anyway. Sometimes it just gets in the way. And so you want to put this under, and you just want to sew your 1/4 of an inch now. Because remember, you measured up 1/4 of an inch. So if you measure by 1/4 of an inch on the edge here, this should, and it's a little tricky, I'm telling you. See, and that pin's in the way, so I'm going to take that pin out because every time I try and do this, you just really have to squeeze your fabric together and pull it up. Remember, you have right sides together. Let's just go ahead and get this thing down, and then I'll pull the rest of it up. How about if we pick up the part that's weighing me down here? There we go. That's a little bit nicer. I had my quilt was pulling it. So put the whole quilt up on the table. And then you're just going to sew your 1/4 of an inch. And I would definitely do some back stitches to hold that down. Now we can cut all of this. And let's hope that it's going to lay nice and flat. And there you go. You're just going to iron it down nice and smooth. And then you can just finish sewing. And you've got a little straight seam here, and then the rest of your bias seams are, of course, on a diagonal, but isn't that easy? And it makes them neat.